Hello and welcome to the May 8th special meeting of the Foxborough School Committee. We are here for Dr. Burtis to introduce an appointment for the position of School Business Administrator. Dr. Burtis?
All right. Good evening. I'm going to ask...
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do just want to let you know this meeting will be broadcast live by Foxborough Cable Access.
All right. I'm going to ask Ms. Karen Sheridan to come join us up at the table. And while she's walking up to the guest table here, I'd like to just kind of get some background information and an overview of where we are today and where we've been. So as we know, Mr. Yukna is retiring after 13 years and working as the business manager for the Foxborough Public Schools. And we are tremendously grateful for everything that he has done. And will continue because he's not done yet. But due to his impending retirement, the school business manager for finance and operations is really a very important role, as we all know, and as you know, is one of your big functions of school committee as far as overseeing the budget. And that position itself is responsible for leading, supervising, and evaluating many different departments. So overseeing our budget, overseeing food service, transportation, facilities and grounds, extended day, and technology as well. So in transportation, I don't know if I even said transportation yet. So there's so many different departments as far as overseeing. So it's a really big role. It's a very important role. It's a role that I work very closely with Bill in that case. And so it's going to be an important role for me and then the district to be able to really continue on the journey that we are on and doing such an excellent job of the fiscal responsibility of the district and the transparency and the trust that we have. So the process itself, once Bill had announced his retirement, as you know, we've talked about that timeline here at school committee, and we then posted beginning February 1st. And at that time, we advertised on School Spring, Indeed, LinkedIn, Masbo, MMA, like all of the different areas. And because we are very picky, I will say, and making sure that we have the right candidate that ends up in the end, we continued after applications and screening through that process and began with interviews and had first round, had second round interviews, and then ended up posting a second time. And I went through that process again. Part of that, too, is I met with different departments to find out the attributes of the individual that they were looking for in order to follow Bill and the legacy that he is leaving here for sure. And that was with meeting with central office, meeting with the admin team, meeting with the business office, meeting with facilities and grounds, et cetera, and really seeing what they were looking for as we continued to move forward in the direction that Bill has really set us on such a positive direction. We had many evening interviews, and then we ended up posting a third time. And at that point, I will say third time's the charm. And I would like to take a moment and to thank all of the people that interviewed through that, because it was a lot of time and a lot of hours. I see that Corey Michaelazik is here this evening. He was one. Stephanie was there as well. So all of central office, Aaron Heyer was there interviewing with us, and then we had representation from elementary, middle school, and high school as far as principals. So I'd also like to thank Robert Worth from the borough and Karen Frazier from the middle school and Jim Donovan from the high school. And then also would like to thank Richard Pearson as the chair of the school committee, because he did many nights of interviews with us as well. And it really is a valuable process when you have that many perspectives at the table. And it really made a great opportunity for questions and follow-up questions to really make sure that we have the candidate that's sitting here this evening that I'm recommending to you for your appointment. Now, I'd like to take a moment, too, to mention that if we go back to ed reform, that was one of the things that was left in the statute, in that it is still under the school committee for the appointment of the school business manager, just as it is for superintendent, assistant superintendent, director of student services, and then also for all of the nurses. If you ask and look at in the literature for Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, they'll say that it should have been changed. It should have just been superintendent, assistant superintendent, but yet the statute stands. So that's why we are here this evening, is for your vote appointment for the next business manager of finance and operations. So that's the process in the background. Through that process and all of the interviews, a lot of reference checking and all of that follows up too. So you have in your packet Karen's resume, and with that you also have information on her first 90-day plan and what she is looking to do if she is appointed as the next business manager. But I'd just like to take a moment to share some of the thoughts from the committee that interviewed her, as well as some of the referencing. And we found that she's extremely knowledgeable. Her background and the experience that she has, not only working in public school districts, but having the private sector piece too, and having the collaborative experience. She really comes with a wealth of knowledge and background. And when we think about what's really critical for us and being fiscally responsible and thinking about all of the things that we need to plan for, whether it's in special education, we know that's a big part of our budget, the background that she has there, we found her to be very thorough, very collaborative, just even with us within our group. And then as far as her references and the different people that she's worked for, I'd just like to read a couple of the things here. That she is on top of her game and incredible. She is extremely thorough, transparent, and does a deep analysis always. Extremely loyal, a nice job and very detailed oriented with all of the reports, thinking very highly of her and would hire her back in a minute. Absolutely no concerns whatsoever with solid forecasting and budgeting, and that she is collaborative and works really well with others. She's honest, she knows the laws, she is a hard worker, extremely professional, will not steer you wrong, and is able to solve problems when they arise. So I just think that that's coming from a number of different people and speaking to the work that she has done. So I'm excited to be able to present her here to you this evening as the next school business manager. And as part of this process, I also need to say that it was really important for her to have an idea of what Foxborough is. So as part of that, she wanted to be able to speak with Bill ahead of time. She wanted to be able to meet with the business office staff ahead of time. So she came in, she had like a site visit doing that as well. So she's been very thorough in her work as we have been thorough in ours. So with that, I'll stop and I give you an opportunity for questions that you have.
I'll start. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
I have had the great privilege of being on the committee that found Dr. Michael Laser, Corey, sorry, and really understand and appreciate what that process is like after that experience and how thorough it is for everybody. So the candidates as well as the community here in Foxborough. So I have no doubt that you are more than qualified to be successful and help us to continue our path of success. I'm very excited that you think Foxborough is the right place for you. We will say repeatedly what a special place this is, and it is very important to us that our students and our educators and our staff and our administrators and everyone in our school committee continue to find success, and I'm really thrilled that you want to be a part of that. So that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for stepping up. You have a very good resume with a bunch of experience, some great references, and it's a big task filling in for Mr. Yukon over there. He's done a very good job, so thank you for stepping up.
I do. I have heard that he lives locally, so he's a phone call away.
On more than one phone, I think. Thank you very much. The word that stood out the most to me was loyalty. We had somebody who was really loyal to our town and our schools and our boards and was very ingrained, and we welcome you and are so excited for you to work here with us. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations and welcome. Again, Foxborough is an amazing town. I hope you love it as much as we do. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
What's been in the recent journeys through your various districts?
how's your relationship worked with between the schools and the school district and the town side?
I've had very good relations with the town and the school side. I actually still have school committee members and FinCom call me to see if maybe I'll go have lunch or have a appetizer or something with them. One spoke to me last week. I believe that it's a team effort, and that includes the town. So working with the town and the school, because I feel like when you're building a budget, you're building the budget for the town.
Yeah.
I mean, my job is to do what is in the best interest of the school district, but oftentimes what's in the best interest of the school district is also working with the town to make sure it's also in the best district of the town. So I've really had great relationships with them. I've been, I reported to, done presentations and reports to FinCom, to budget balancing, to the selectmen recently in Uxbridge. And I mean, I haven't had any difficulty and really actually enjoyed working with the town. So I feel like most people, their best interests are for the town and for the students, which is why I got into the field. So and it's just been great relationships that I've experienced.
Nice. And then, what piqued your interest? Like, what when you? I mean, you did a lot of research, which is heartening to hear. As you look back at your arc through, and I enjoyed like seeing kind of the storyline of your career. It's all sensical and seems like it's been a number of very good opportunities for growth. But what piqued your interest, if when you thought about maybe considering applying?
For Foxborough?
Yeah.
I have been looking for a district. What's important to me is the fit. So the fit doesn't mean just the people that I work with, which that's extremely important, which is why I wanted to meet them, because you spend a lot of hours with those people, and you have to enjoy your job, and you have to enjoy the people that you work with. So in the fit, the other thing that I find that's extremely important to me is the philosophy of the town and the school. And that doesn't mean, the philosophy of the education that they have for their students is extremely important, but also the philosophy of how they fiscally manage. And I just, from everything that, when I did my homework on Foxborough, it was in line with my beliefs, and that's extremely important to me. So I looked at a lot of things for Foxborough. I looked at your net school spending. I looked at a lot of the Department of Education reports. I spoke to some people, asked them about Foxborough. I looked at the budget. I spoke in length with Bill, and wanted to, assure myself that this was a district that I would feel comfortable with, that it was with my beliefs. My parents brought me up that is, money isn't as important as making sure that you work in a place that you enjoy where you work. And it, in my opinion, just is part of your beliefs, your integrity. All those things are more important to me. So I did do my homework on Foxborough. The other thing, I live in Franklin. I was looking for something close.
Yep.
I would love to have I'm extremely hard worker, and I usually am the first one here and the last one out, except sometimes the superintendent will beat me. But I would like to find a work-life balance, and, being closer to the job does help a little bit.
Right.
So there was a lot of things that intrigued me about the job. So, and then after speaking to, the relationship with the superintendent is extremely important. So after having a nice conversation with the superintendent, and then she allowed me to have a conversation with Bill, it just, the more that I learned, the more that I knew that it was the place for me. So I'm very excited, honored, and humbled. So I thank you.
Thank you.
One of the, within the priorities, and I'll maybe say it, I've heard pretty much every committee member say some version of this, but just to put it out there, one of the things that I have valued most highly through 5 years on the school committee and then 3 years on the advisory committee before that is how thoroughly the administrative team, from the superintendent and the business manager, Mr. Yukna, have managed, in management speak, managed up and out. And what I mean by that is no surprises. And there's been a air of calm when talking about budgets, budgetary shifts, looking well in advance and predicting things. Obviously, things come up, but I've appreciated the way that Mr. Yukna and both superintendents I've seen in action, Amy mostly, have handled that in a no drama kind of atmosphere. And our town has a lot of people who moved away from other towns because there was school district budget drama. And are we going to cut music this year? Are we going to cut sports this year? And the histrionics around that. And just to go along with your priorities, as you say, that is something that Foxborough doesn't do. And it's one of the reasons that I know a lot of the people sitting here really like serving on this committee and really support our administration. And so as much as we can continue that air of advance notice, no surprises, obviously things come up, there are bumps in the road, but it's a very, very rare case that all of a sudden the sky is falling and we didn't know about it. So if you can continue in that tradition, I will be very delighted and pleased. And to echo what my committee members have said, quoting a prior committee member, thank you for choosing Foxborough.
Thank you. I can tell you one thing, that I'm extremely transparent because I believe these are public funds. So I feel like my job is to make sure that all have enough information to make informed decisions. And when I say all, I also feel like you should try to make sure that the public is informed. And part of my job, I feel, is to help them to understand the budget. And when they go, I don't know how your town is, but if you go to town meeting, I hope that with the presentations and the reports, that they get a better understanding and can make an informed decision. Because sometimes people don't get enough information to make that informed decision. And, my job isn't always to make the decisions. My job is to make sure that you have the information to make those decisions. So I have one time in my career, somebody said to me, you shouldn't be so transparent. And my response to them was, you should find a new business manager, because I will never change. So that's just who I am. And so that's another reason why I felt that Foxborough was in line with that. And so, again, I am very happy to be sitting here. And it's a lot easier to talk finance than it is to talk about yourself.
Yeah.
So with that, I'd like to make a motion that we accept Karen Sharon for the appointment of the school business manager.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? All opposed? 0. I vote 5-0-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
Thank you so
and
much.
I will do my very best, I promise. So, thank you.
Well, yeah. I just, thank you very much. I just wanted to take a minute to address that there's a bit of a board change here. We want to introduce Nathan Ehrman. He's our newest member. The election was Monday.
Oh, hi.
Thank Foxborough. I'm sitting here again. We both were up for, were part of the election. And I do want to thank Richard Pearson, the outgoing chair, for his 6 years of service to the Foxborough Public Schools. So I wanted to say that and just announce the makeup of the board.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.